Welcome back to Truth Bomber TV. Have you ever wondered why you can't leave in toxic love? What's going on with these relationship dynamics?
When we really look at the journey of the soul, what most people see, unless you can see energy or feel energy, is the physical world. You see the physical body, like this cute little baby. But as energy healers, what we see is a lot of different things and a lot of energy around everyone and within their energy systems. So, what make up this energetic imprint are our Akashic records, our failed spiritual tests, as worked out through the energy systems, which we get into deeply in the online course, our belief systems, any karmic ties that we've created, judgments and unresolved issues that create these soul contracts with one another, and our internal traumas. So other people are like looking into the mirror of ourselves. And if there is happiness or suffering, it is reflecting back to us how all of this energy works and how it works together with one another. These become our soul contracts. So we have these bonds of love in our relationships, and one person meets another and they form these relationships through our sexuality. We then bond and we create little children that come into this world. And there's this entrapment within our families for us to be forced to do our soul work. So the first chance that we get to heal is through our siblings and our parents. The thing that happens in a lot of ways and the way that we are educated is that we think things are happening to us rather than they're happening through us. So if we have an issue with a parent that we haven't resolved, then we find a partner to resolve that issue with, or even a sibling. So we consider a lot of things as parent-child relationship or things like that, but it's all just interplays of where these energy hooks are happening between us. And where we're toxic to ourselves, we have toxic relationships. It has to be that way in order for us to have suffering and to start looking within. We're just not taught how to look within and heal our imbalances and our inner traumas and wounds. Money is another key dynamic that I don't hear a lot of healers talking about that has to be understood in order for us all to become master manifestors. Because money can really lock you into relationships or a job or whatever that's needed in order to be trapped with these personalities where you have soul work to do. We are all mirrors to each other. And when we talk about oneness, oneness is more than just I love you as my brother. Oneness is seeing someone's unhealed trauma and how yours reacts to it and recognizing the necessary imbalances within another in order for us to up level and heal. Relationships are the key of suffering or happiness. So we are born with our sexuality, our sex drives, and to co-create in order to lock us into these dynamics. So life partner number one and life partner number two come in. This could be work relationship. This could be a soulmate relationship. This could be a parent-child relationship where the extrovert attracts the introvert. The overambitious attracts the lazy. The indecisive attracts the compulsive. The humble attracts the overly confident. The scarcity or the person that's super tight with their money attracts the overspender. The peacemaker attracts the drama queen. The person who has abandoned themselves attracts someone who will abandon you. And what we need to do in order to stop these positive negative charges from attracting and exchanging energy with one another is to become the balance. So we're not an extrovert or an introvert. We're a balance of being with others and being with self. we aren't indecisive or compulsive. We're able to make decisions in a good timeline, considering the thoughts and feelings of others, but not sitting in its land of indecision. So all of these things that are positive and negative charges keep bouncing around with one another. And if we don't understand it, what happens is we partner with someone and then they make us crazy, or we want to point the finger and blame them, or however it is. So the overspender is with the person that's really tight with their money. And they're like, they make me crazy because they nickel and dime everything. And the person that's tight with their money is like, nickel and diming everything, watching the overspender just throw their money out the window. And until both parties can come into balance of spending and receiving, then we have what we call these triggers, emotional triggers, which is where we over emotionally react to something in our life. And those are the roadmaps. So, what's happened on a big, huge basis is people who have abandoned themselves attract people that abandon you. And this is to make you self partner. So I want to take an example of one issue in this, and that's the issue of the heart. And the heart chakra is a huge electromagnetic field. I'm going to link the I Heart Math Institute video in the description below so that you can watch some of this fascinating information about our heart chakras. And this is how we connect and is the emotional brain of ourselves. And this is where this feeling of love comes from. But when we have issues, then we have heart chakra shutdowns. And so if you meet someone that's pushy and you're a pushover, every time that they push you over, you have this heart chakra shutdown. So that means the chakras work like tornadoes. So I want you to think about all of these having this tornado field around you. So if the tornado is happening, you have this pushing in on your chest and then a pulling around that on the outside. Just like a tornado, you see as it destroys everything in the center, it pulls all this stuff into the vortex. And you can look at someone's physical body and see when they have rounded shoulders and the chest sinks in, they have had long-term chakra shutdowns, and it's actually deforming the physical body. So these things are so important, in my opinion, to our health. And there's different opinions about this. But to me, the energy and the energy body is the most important dynamic above what you eat, what you think, any of those things. So if we are a loyal person to a fault, meaning we're even loyal to people that hurt us, we have to meet someone that's disloyal. If we are overly naive, we will meet a liar and a manipulator. Here we are saying, oh, here's all the information about me. And then they take all that information and they manipulate it to destroy you. But we have to learn the lesson. Not everyone here is to be trusted. We have to be picky about who we trust. The heart meridian, in my experience with energy, has a different feeling when it shuts down. So the heart meridian runs from the little pinky all the way around the heart and then up and through to the eye, bottom of the eye. So what we're seeing and what we're touching and bringing into our world has an effect on the heart meridian. So when others hurt, abandon, betray, or abuse us, even give us the silent treatment, ignore us, this heart, as a thinking, emotional being, shuts down. So the precursors of feeling what a long-term heart meridian shutdown feels to me is I will get the sensation in my arm, muscle twitches in the bicep. I can have my hand will shake um, without involuntarily, like tremors, and the heart will actually within itself hurt. And this is what we feel about when like my heart hurts. So what happens is we think that we're supposed to partner with people who love us, but we cannot partner with people who unconditionally love us until we unconditionally love ourselves. So what happens is until we do, we partner with people that trigger these unbalanced wounds. So if we go up and down according to whether or not someone loves us, we have to contract with someone who doesn't. So we become a solid sense of love and support to ourselves. And once you do that, no matter what other people do or don't do, it does not affect your emotional self the same way because the heart has healed and come into wholeness with its own inner being. This is another energetic system that I feel that I call the ickies. So if we have this shock collar system, I want you to think of the divine source creating a system like a shock collar for dogs. They use it for training. Right action, it doesn't go off. Wrong action, it goes off. The energetic ickies are like feeling icky all over. So if someone triggers us into something that we hate about ourselves, this is where the energetic ickies come in. And it's like a wave of just yuck. That's how I feel it. If there's a long-term holding of this pattern, this is where we get into chronic pain, allergies, which seem like allergies, physical allergies, but they're really allergies to a way that we are being towards ourselves. So if, let's say, you have the bonds of love with someone who is an overachiever and you're lazy, and here they are marrying you by doing a million things at one time while you are just lazy and want to sit on the couch. Well, they come home and they're like, you are so lazy. That's when the energetic ickies hit because that person hates themselves and they hate this issue about themselves. And the partner is the outside voice that has mirrored the inside voice. Until that person loves themselves unconditionally, being lazy, they can't break the pattern. And if they've made judgments of other people being lazy in any lifetime span set that they're still holding at, they have this karma to resolve. Now, a lot of this happens when we come into this earth and we contract with others. So if you haven't deeply self-partnered, you are bound to come into a family where there is a golden child. The golden child gets everything, they receive everything, you will be working your heart and soul out, and this other child is getting all the attention, the love, the admiration, while you are doing all kinds of wonderful things that you do not get credit for. But until you give your self credit, you can't reflect that relationship. This also comes through as a cheating spouse. Someone is supposed to love you and they are giving attention to someone else. It's just a replaying of these traumas and lead to all kinds of different manifestations. When you get into soul stripping and you get into figuring out everything in this world is about me and my unhealed issues, you start to get honest with yourself. So why am I attracting someone who is putting other people right in front of my face and giving them attention? And this is about deeply self-partnering. And then once you self-partner and you realize all these relationships and imbalances are being attracted back to you, you start working on becoming whole yourself. You're not searching for anyone else. You're not half looking for their other half. You are a whole. That's all there is to it. Healing and evolving and loving and being your authentic true self, regardless of what other people do or don't do. This is where we get into what we can do. Deeply self-partner. No matter who abandons or betrays you, I will never abandon and betray myself. Become a priority. If you don't make yourself a priority, how can you attract someone who does? Resolve your codependency and imbalances. Become your own best friend. Listen to your inner voice and make corrections if needed. If you've partnered with someone critical or there's someone critical at work or wherever it comes into play, realize it's a match for where you're critical of yourself. Are you demanding of yourself? Do you shame yourself? These all create these magnetic attractions, and where people become into our sphere according to our gravitational pull, just like a magnet, as you see in the picture.
This is the truth about magnetic attractions and why we stay in these kinds of relationships, because we still have things to learn and heal and evolve through. And that's where our soul families come into play, our relationships come into play, is these repeat patterns to teach us and show us all these different elements of ourselves. So I hope that's helped you to understand why sometimes you're locked into relationships that you don't understand. So you can find me at www.narcissistnirvana.com. I've got YouTube's online healing programs, spiritual counseling, and all kinds of good stuff available to heal and evolve. Thanks for watching. Have a great Wednesday.